Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The starting gun has been fired for Tasmania's snap election, only 15 months since the last one. Parties and independents are now scrambling to get their candidates and campaigns in order as the countdown begins.
15 months on from the last election, and Tasmania's politicians are preparing to do it all over again.
It's day one of the election campaign.
Ready to go. Firing on all cylinders.
Tasmanian Labor and the entire Labor movement is ready to go.
Putting last week's no confidence motion behind him, Jeremy Rockcliffe today launching the campaign with Liberals candidates in Bass.
This is a clear choice, a choice between a Liberal government that is building a better Tasmania and a Labor Party that is desperate and will make Tasmanians pay more.
Labor making their message loud and clear on privatisation.
Jeremy Rockcliffe said only a week ago that he was committed to his plan to privatise assets, and then as soon as he saw an election coming, he decided to cut and run.
But not only ruling it out, the Premier's also promising to legislate tougher requirements for any future government business sell-offs.
We won't be part of a scare campaign that Labor will run.
As the Greens come out of the gates swinging against the stadium.
Tasmanians do not want to spend over $1 billion on a new stadium in Hobart when the money should go into homes and healthcare and education.
Though it's an election they and others say could have been avoided, hoping to have done a deal with the opposition.
We reached out to Dean Winter multiple times. This is now Dean Winter and Jeremy Rockcliffe's fault.
I've been clear for the last year as the leader of the Labor Party that we won't be doing any deals with the Greens.
While Jeremy Rockcliffe insists party allegiances aren't fractured, following reports senior Liberal MPs were willing to take the helm to avoid an early ballot.
We have a united team.
For more, we're joined by state political reporter Anthony Dodd outside Parliament House. Anthony, the budget is a key issue. Now, how might the major parties go about wooing voters?
They'll be treading a fine line, Kim. With skyrocketing debt in the recent state budget, both the Liberals and Labor can't afford to be spending taxpayers' money easily. But time will tell whether they show restraint compared to previous campaigns. Tasmania's grim finances are among the biggest issues facing the state, while other matters are set to be hotly debated over the next 5 weeks, including cost of living, health, housing, education and the contentious Macquarie Point Stadium, among others. The Liberals are aiming to secure another term and to ensure it lasts longer than the one we've just had, while Labor will be looking to break their decade-long spot on the political sidelines as opposition. All parties will now be looking to finalise their candidates in all 5 electorates, as well as their campaigns, as the clock officially counts down to polling day, some 15 months after the last state election. Kim?
It's quite incredible we'll be here. Thank you, Anthony. Well, independents are gearing up to take advantage of public displeasure with the major parties, and another mainstream party is emerging from the wilderness, hoping to do the same.
Contesting a third state election in a little over 4 years, independent candidates can sense the major parties are on the nose.
Certainly budget mismanagement is a big ticket item. Health and housing and education will feature strongly in this campaign. They are perennial issues that the governments of both persuasions have failed to deliver and to deal with over a number of years.
All 5 sitting candidates are running again, while the Jackie Lambie Network's Andrew Jenner is still deciding whether to contest without the support of his party. One Nation's Lee Hansen confirming the party won't enter the race. Anti-Salmon campaigner Peter George will, after polling 42% of the 2-candidate preferred count in Franklin at the federal election.
It's quite clear that there is a very strong desire in Tasmania to put the old parties back in their place and to come up with some new ideas, new candidates, new blood.
Vet and second-time Lions candidate Angela Offord is already dusting off her signs, wanting to see an end to political games in the House of Assembly.
Let's move away from party politics, party ideology, adversarialness if you're in opposition. It's a waste of our taxpayers' money, and it's not what we're there for.
A steady ship is also the aim for Derwent Valley Mayor Michelle Draculis as she throws her hat in the ring.
I know what my people need, and I'd like to be a voice in that room. I think we need to be working together to move forward as a state, and I think we need some stability.
There's another big unknown to factor into the chaos this time around with the re-emergence of the National Party in Tasmania, and there'll be no automatic coalition with the Liberals. Banking on opposition to the stadium to overcome the low vote the last election the party contested in 2014.
You've got a significant level of debt, that burden that's being passed on to future generation of Tasmanians, and you've got a stadium proposal that's around $1 billion. That is not sustainable.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
With polling day during the school holidays, preparations are in full swing at the Electoral Commission. From hiring returning officers to finding enough polling places, there's plenty to do as Tasmanians prepare to cast their vote again.
With election day booked, feelings are mixed on being forced to go back to the polls.
Pretty poor. It's a waste of our money, isn't it?
Well, there are a lot of issues going on at the moment, so it's probably necessary.
Just got to go and put the bit of paper down the slot and that's it.
As Tasmanians prepare themselves for the onslaught of campaigning for their vote, one institution is always ready to go.
Thankfully in Tasmania we have the upper house elections every year, so we're never fully out of election mode.
The TEC is busy recruiting staff and securing polling places, ready to roll out for the July 19 vote.
That's what we're here to do, so our staff are up and running and we're rolling through all the early preparations.
But this election will see changes for candidates. From July 1, they'll have more eyes on who's bankrolling their campaigns.
Any donation that's received over $100 will need to be recorded as a donor, and anyone that provides over $1,000 of donations to a particular candidate or participant will have to be declared as a significant donor.
And for those who plan to go away these school holidays, never fear. Voting early or making a postal vote could be an option.
For those outside Tasmania or those with who identify with a print disability, they can do telephone voting.
Ensuring every Tasmanian gets a say. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Health authorities are urging the public to be alert to the symptoms of meningococcal disease after 2 cases recently emerged in the Greater Hobart area. Both women in their 50s tested positive for meningococcal B within the past week and are being treated at the Royal Hobart Hospital. Experts say symptoms can include fever, severe headache, neck pain or stiffness. An aerial search by helicopter has failed to find a trace of missing Victorian man Christopher Inwood. It's believed the 52-year-old has been in the Cradle Mountain area since Monday night, and police have concerns for his welfare. Search and rescue crews have been combing the area since Tuesday. It's one of Tasmania's most popular hiking spots, even in winter, but authorities are warning Canunny Mount Wellington can turn treacherous in a matter of minutes. Tasmania Police hoping to avoid a repeat of last year when 2 groups of hikers narrowly escaped blizzard-like conditions after becoming trapped near the summit.
Not even a year ago, 18 bushwalkers fell victim to Canunny Mount Wellington's Arctic conditions. The feels-like temperature at the time was minus 21 degrees Celsius. It took a rescue crew 5 hours to bring them to safety.
All our work is focused on avoiding that situation in the first place. We don't want to be there. Those people don't want to be there.
But it seems people just aren't listening. Police incident reports revealing a disturbing number of situations where walkers become lost or aren't prepared, especially at night.
It is frustrating when the messages are ignored, but I find that a lot of the rescues that we attend, it's purely just through bad luck sometimes, unexpected weather, injury.
Dressing to the conditions, having a fully charged mobile phone and locator beacon is the advice to anyone headed for a hike. Seasoned bushwalker Ross Stevens also insists on these essentials.
A beanie to keep yourself warm, a map, a compass and a whistle.
For every 100 metres you travel up Mount Wellington, the temperature drops by 1 degree. That means it's likely to be 6 degrees cooler at the summit compared to here at the spring's halfway point.
It can be beautiful down here and it can be terrible up there.
While wintry conditions can make for a quieter and more enjoyable trek, the message remains.
The mountain's never closed. The road may be closed, but the tracks and trails are not closed, so people can head up and recreate, but they need to be prepared for extreme conditions and they need to have experience and equipment with them.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Dark Mofo revellers are embracing the return of the iconic winter festival, with visitor numbers already surpassing last year's. Organisers say several events have seen record turnouts already, and now it's full steam ahead for a second week of unique entertainment.
Rising from the dead and returning in style, this year's Dark Mofo back and roaring to life. Revellers reigniting the flames for the iconic winter festival.
In the first week we saw 210,000 people come through our event sites cumulatively. 45,000 of those came to Winterfeast.
Visitation numbers already up from last year, with locals and tourists alike soaking up the atmosphere.
We saw about 180,000 people at the same time last year, so things are looking really positive. It is wonderful to see people embrace the event and the city be full and enlivened.
Winterfeast, Dark Park and Night Mass drawing in the crowds.
Saturday was, I think, our biggest night ever at Dark Park. Sora at Smack 2 has been one of our most popular artworks. We've seen thousands and thousands of people come through that artwork every evening.
The weird and wacky, from coffins to car crashes, also seeing large audiences.
Some people engage with it in a serious kind of way, and other people treat it in a very playful way and try to make fun of it.
And there's no signs of slowing down, with Mofo flames set to burn bright for its second week.
There is a lot of tired faces in the office this week, but we're pushing ahead for another big week because we know it's just as important to make sure that we deliver week 2 as strong as week 1.
Revellers can witness a festival favourite, the Ooga Ooga procession, this weekend, along with several artists.
This week we're up in Launceston as well, with 2 fantastic shows at the Princess Theatre with Thelma Plum and Methyl Ethel, and we're expecting huge turnouts there.
Rebecca Gadaneris at 7, Tasmania News.
While metro buses are known for their distinct yellow colour, this one's feeling a little more blue, but that's the point. This particular bus has been wrapped in Stay Chatty's distinctive logo, sharing an important message about mental health this winter.
We've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go. Every suicide is a tragedy and leaves, broken hearts and broken people behind when it happens.
It's a great way to really promote the message to all of the community around Hobart around how important mental health is.
The bus is expected to continue to travel over 100 kilometres a day over the next year.
If there's one side that can hand North Launceston their first loss since the 2023 TSL Grand Final, it's surely crosstown rivals Launceston. In what's shaping up as an NTFA Grand Final preview this weekend, the Blues though aren't approaching the blockbuster clash any differently.
Pretty much we know who their key movers are and they know who our key movers are, so we've got our key matchups and I'm sure they'll have their key matchups, so it'll be good to see the best of the best go head to head again.
Midway through their first season, North Launceston's women are building confidence as they prepare to tangle with the ladder leaders.
Working really hard on our defensive pressure and sticking together, working as a team. We come out a lot like our opponents. We learn a lot from our opponents, we believe.
They play at Windsor Park on Saturday. Not your usual post-training meal, the Hawks have shared cake with Bridgenorth players as both clubs celebrate their 100th birthdays this year. Hawthorn having their final hit out at UTAS Stadium this evening ahead of tomorrow night's clash with the Hawks. He may be a former world champ and have a BBL title under his belt, but Matthew Wade isn't satisfied yet. It'll be at least 2 years before he sends the bat and gloves to storage, extending his contract with the Hurricanes until BBL 16. The club's maiden victory last season, stoking the fire in his belly.
I've played in some, big games for Australia, and I've played all around the world. BBL was the one that I hadn't ticked off, and I really wanted to be a part of a successful franchise.
Wade is the Canes' third all-time highest run scorer from his 79 matches in purple. Well, there's a bit of number crunching happening at the Chargers HQ as the women's side begins their push into the tail end of the season with a rapidly narrowing chance of playing finals.
Yeah, I think it's still possible. It's going to be tough. We've got a tougher end to the season in terms of the draw than probably the last couple of weeks.
The men have a comfortable berth inside the top 8, but this weekend on the road could test that.
Melbourne, really tough team. Purchase, Froling, some big names putting up really good numbers, and that'll be a good challenge for us.
They play Denton on Saturday and Melbourne on Sunday. And the under-19 Hawks are proving a powerhouse in the TNL, undefeated so far this season. And even with a few players away for state duties, they're showing no sign of slowing down.
I think we are diverse enough, we can build around that, but
I think, we're doing well. We've got a lot of momentum, so going into the next few games should hopefully be strong. Hopefully we come out on top.
It hasn't been easy to keep that position on the ladder, but I think through our tight connection, definitely a lot of hard work, it has been possible.
They play Cripps Waratah on Saturday. And Kim, that's United Sport.
Okay, thanks Nick. We're off to a short break now and then Murph will join us with the weather forecast.
Good evening. Hobart managed a crispy 10 degrees today. Launceston and Devonport 12, high of 13 in Burnie. King Island topped the list with 16. Smithton 15 degrees. Flinders Island and St Helens 14. Friendly Beaches 13. Strawn 12. Temperatures in the upper Derwent Valley up to 6 below average today. Bushy Park 7 and Ooze 6. The overnight low, Lyawini with a -8. Low cloud and fog persisted over the upper Derwent today with clear conditions elsewhere. Some cloud did increase over the northwest later in the day. Cloud rotates around a low located just west of Adelaide. High cloud pushed into southwest WA with more low clouds seen over parts of Victoria, New South Wales and the Queensland coast. Tomorrow a high over southeastern Australia maintains a ridge over Tasmania, but we do have that cold front traversing the Bight which will affect the weather over the north and west in particular over the weekend. Winds northwesterly at 10 to 20 knots over western waters, grading to 5 to 15 knot variable winds over the north. Icy roads again to start the day tomorrow and the road weather alert is out to warn drivers of hazardous conditions again. Hobart 3 overnight, top of 14 tomorrow, sunny, partly cloudy for Huonville, -4 to kick-start the day and 14 the top for Campania. For Launceston tomorrow, a cold start, 14 the top, but a sunny afternoon. Same sort of thing for Devonport, 13 the top, 13 for Georgetown. Burnie expecting 14, morning frost but partly cloudy during the day. A shower for Strawn, 14, 14 the top also for Wynyard. St Helens a high of 15, a morning frost, a sunny afternoon. Same sort of thing for Swansea, 13 the top for Port Arthur after a relatively warm night, 7. On Saturday, fine apart from a light shower over the northwest and King Island. Showers creeping further over the north and west on Sunday, fine for the east and south again. And on Monday, showers becoming more widespread over the state with just a little over the east and south. Showers in Perth tomorrow, a sunny 18 in Adelaide. Fine also in Melbourne, a shower 16 in Sydney, 19 the top in Brisbane and fine. Coolish and clearish conditions at the moment, 6 in Hobart, 5 in Launceston, Devonport currently 5 degrees. That's the way the weather is at the moment. Kim, back to you to wrap it all up for the night.
And that is where we wrap it up for tonight. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for your company, everyone. Good night.